And welcome back here to Baltimore's Camden Yards. Ed Encina joins us now from the Baltimore Sun. And Ed, we're talking about Brian Matusz in their first segment. What about his status right now with the club, with the earned run average so high?
Well, I mean, it's obviously troublesome. I think that, it's one of those situations where, Brian's job is to get left-handed hitters out, and he really hasn't had much success doing it. 51% of all hitters he's faced have reached base against him, and that actually gets worse against left-handers. 10 out of 16 that he's faced so far this year. You look at last night, he has an 0-2 pitch to Kyle Seager, and he's ahead of him, and he lifts a fastball that Seager hits out. He was ahead of Nelson Cruz 1-2, obviously a right-handed hitter, but he had him out too. So with Matusz, he's struggling. We talked to him after the game yesterday, and you can tell he's frustrated. You can tell that he's really trying to find out how to fix this situation. But right now, the Orioles really don't have too many choices here, because Brian's making $3.9 million. There's still about $3 million left on that salary, and it's not as easy as just cutting him or sending him to the minors. He has enough experience. He has 5 years of service time that he can refuse an outright assignment to the minor leagues too. So there's a lot of different things there that either would you could lose him, and you could essentially be paying him to pitch for someone else, which is two things the Orioles don't necessarily want. They want to figure out how Brian can get left-handed hitters out and do the job that he's done well over the past 3 years in that relief role.
Now, Yovani Gallardo has been out of the Orioles starting rotation recently. What's his status?
Well, I mean, Yovani, it's been a real long path for him. He's had he hasn't pitched in more than 3 weeks, and right now he's in the middle of a throwing progression. He'll start a bullpen session, his first bullpen session on Sunday, and that's really the first time where he can really test out his pitches, really get a feel for the mound. And after that, he'll have one more of those, and he'll start doing some simulated games, and that's when he'll start to build up his innings, start to face hitters, and we really think that if he can do maybe 1 or 2 of those. The first one will be in Cleveland, 2 Fridays from now. And if he does a couple of those, that Buck Showalter was saying today that if he does a couple of those, that maybe he might only need 1 or 2 minor league rehab assignments. So it's coming down the stretch a little bit. At least we see it's a little bit more clear as far as when Yovani's going to be back. You're looking at probably that second week in June probably. Like you said, it's been a long stretch for him. But the big thing with Yovani is that he's had he's really been concentrating on strengthening that shoulder. And just talking to him, he's talked a lot about how it feels different. He's had a lot of different he's tested out the strength. At first he was using these 2-pound weights that he felt a little wobbly in his arms, but he's moves gradually up, and now that strength in the shoulder really feels good, and that's a good sign. It's something he's never really done in his career. And pitchers get older, they have to do different things to stay healthy and stay strong, and this is one thing that I think Yovani's really realized, is that doing these kind of exercises and strengthening that shoulder and keeping it strong over the course of the season is probably something that he's really going to have to do from here on out.
How about Gallardo's missed time, J.J. Hardy's missed time, yet the Orioles have the second best winning percentage in baseball, best record in the American League. Is that showing you how much depth they have? Yeah,
I think what it shows is kind of the preparation. This organization is really, especially under Buck Showalter, you look at the roster and they're always looking at the what ifs. What happens if J.J. Hardy gets hurt? What happens if someone falls out of the starting rotation? Buck talks about all the time is you always have to be prepared if your starting pitcher takes a liner off his leg and can't continue the game. And with Gallardo, it's a little bit different because you had Kevin Gossman coming back, so you could easily kind of slide him, and obviously the opportunity for Tyler Wilson and Mike Wright's been there, but with Hardy, it's constantly those what ifs. It's a lot of the moves that you make in the offseason, the moves to make sure you re-sign a guy like Paul Janisch so he can fill in some of these at bats, and also obviously the decision to move Manny Machado to shortstop. It's one of these things that they're constantly thinking about, and it goes back to Buck's preparation and Dan's preparation and everything that they do to kind of prepare for this stuff when it happens, even going back to making some of those decisions in the offseason.
Ed Encina with great insight about the Orioles, and check him out on Baltimore Sun in the paper or BaltimoreSun.com.